Hey everybody, soybean farmer. Got me a day off from the cigar shop, Tuesday, December the 11th. And I'm out here looking at what's left of the snow from what I woke up to Sunday morning. And these beans are still standing up. See, this is my first experience, as I said, with having beans in the field and getting snowed on. And as you can see, there's still snow on the ground. It's about 34, 33 degrees out here, and it's about 11:30. I had a bunch of stuff I had to get done. I had to fix my mailbox where the snow plow came along. Anyhow, and some stuff in the house to get straightened out about the furnace. But I'm delighted. These beans are really still standing just about like they were. The hurricane blew them. The way they're leaning is because of the hurricane on them. Let's ride over to the other side of the field. I'm kind of sitting in the shade and it is cold here. So we'll ride over there and see what we got. That's the portion of the Allen field that I was able to get cut when I was out here on Friday. And if you can, I don't know whether you can see it or not. I'll see what the zoom will show us. But the beans are leaning that way. Not bad, but they're leaning. And I don't see where they're leaning any more than they were leaning after what the hurricanes did to them. But this ground is wet. You can probably hear it running. I'm sitting on the ATV and it's squishing down and making tracks. Let's go see what that other field came out looking like. This is pretty close to the spot down here where the combine started sinking in. Actually a little bit lower, but I just went through there with the ATV and it's like soup. And man, it's gonna take this ground some time to get dried out. But just the ATV, you know, and this thing ain't nearly as heavy as that combine, especially when that combine's got beans loaded up in the hopper. But that was like soup. And if this wasn't a four-wheel drive ATV, that's probably where I'd be sitting, ticked off that I actually tried to drive through there. Wet land. Yeah, that's just right there where I just went through that with the ATV. There's some wet land. This field right out straight in front of me, I'll zoom up on it. That field right there was going to be my big testament to fertilizer. And it was like 425 pounds of 5-10-30 to the acre, and that's right at a 2-acre field. And it made some pretty looking beans. Watch them go through the season. I know that field's got several wet spots on it. It slopes off down that way, and ain't no getting in that field for a couple of weeks until it has a chance to dry out. But the beans aren't laid over. They're still standing up. I'll get a little closer view of it. Yeah, the beans are still standing here just about like they were before it snowed. A lot of water standing on the ground right here with me. But this field's like 2 acres, and that's that 6-acre piece right over there. So with the piece we first looked at the beginning of this video, that's about 2 acres. That's 2 acres, and there's 6 acres. And so that's why I say I got about 10 acres left standing out here. When this stuff dries out, I'm coming to get it. But I'm not coming out here and get the combine stuck in the mud, so I'm gonna have to wait for the ground to dry out. Those little tires on that 3300 are wore out. If you looked at some of the videos where you could actually see the tires, they're wore out. I priced some tires for that combine, and those things are expensive, real expensive. I noticed something when I was riding. That's why I was riding through the field looking down. I saw a lot of beans shattering in the head when I was out here cutting Friday. Plant matter was wet. Beans were wet. They flunked my test. I wouldn't have even been out here trying to cut them if it hadn't been for such a messed up year with so many delays. But the pods are fragile. They've been through so much hot, cold, and wet, dry. They're fragile. So they're shattering in the head, and I did see a bunch of beans laying on the ground. I know I wasn't blowing them out the back of the combine because I got the fan speed set right on the very first day that I was actually cutting. But it's been a challenging year, taxing and trying. But if I can pull another $1,000 off these 10 acres, and I know that sounds like, you know, pitiful, but with the pod shattering going on like it is, that's the reason. And with the time that I'm going to have to delay getting back out here to get this ground dried out, I imagine that pod shatter is just going to get worse, because we've got winter time here now. It's down to about 24 here last night. High for today is supposed to be something around 40. Sounds like a woodpecker up there in that pine tree. But praise God, He's took care of me. It's going to work out. I'll get back out here and I'll get this. And the snow's going to be on the ground a while because forecast temperatures through the rest of the week don't get much over 45 around here. But it'll melt, it'll dry out. It's a bright sunny day today. It's all going to be okay. Everybody, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing to my channel, Soybean Farmer. Bye, y'all.